I work for a hotel that, for privacy reasons, I'd rather not name. I've only been here a few days. They said there's something here that's been scaring the workers into quitting their jobs, so I got this job pretty fast. It pays really good, and to lose it all over a scare? Well, I'm not very superstitious. I won't miss out on this paycheck even if the devil himself tells me to quit. No, sir. Well, I work the night shift, so I probably shouldn't be making these jokes. But anyways, my job duties are simple. People staying here will leave things outside at night that they need cleaned up. Trash, towels, things like that. And I'm the one that gets to go do it, along with any empty rooms on that floor. I carry a radio in case of any emergencies. I can get a hold of the clerk working the front to help me out, or even just give me directions. He's been taking it easy on me, helping me every chance he gets. He says he's been here for over 20 years. Long time to hold one position. Claims he enjoys the company of meeting new people as they check in and out. Probably here for the paycheck too, but hey, I'm not gonna judge. Right now I'm on the 4th floor of this 7th floor hotel. He radioed me to tell me to get to the roof and move the antenna around a bit. Some people were complaining about nothing but static coming from their TV. We shut the elevators off at night, so I'm forced to take the stairs. As I'm reaching the roof, he radios me again, saying it's all good, that it all just fixed itself somehow. I'm making my way back down when from the top floor, I hear a voice. I've been told many times not to go onto the 7th floor, that it was under construction. Maybe some teenagers were out and about, looking for something to do. It wasn't very late, but late enough to where no kids should be out unsupervised. Concerned, I make my way onto the level, but I freeze with confusion once I get through the door. It looks perfect. A lot nicer than the other floors even. A little more old school, but the perfect tone for how this floor is designed. And then I hear it again. It sounds like a little boy. I start calling out to him, reassuring him that I worked here and could help him if he was lost. I walk deeper down the hall when suddenly my radio goes off. I told him I'm okay. I'm trying to find a little boy who may be lost on the 7th floor. But all he answers back is run. To turn around and get out of there as quick as I can and ignore the voices. Out of fear, I stayed standing there trying to understand what it is that he just told me. Voices. And then I heard them. Hundreds of them, slowly getting louder until it sounds like they were screaming right in my face. I turn to run, but where to? The door to the stairs is gone. I run down the hall just trying to get away from the screaming. I turn and run into a room, and everything goes quiet. I face the door and wait for whatever it is to run inside. The room is so cold, I can see my own breath. Then from behind me, a short sigh is let out. There was a little boy, curled up in the center of the room. I tried getting out, but the doorknob wouldn't budge. I looked back, and the little boy was gone. The rooms on this floor are much bigger, with a hall that leads to an extra room, and from down that hall, somebody begins to whisper. I don't know what he's saying, and I don't even care. I don't want to know. I just want to get out. I don't want to be here anymore. I quit. And the whispering stops. Suddenly, the door opens. I run out, back into the stairwell, and down the stairs as fast as I can. At the front desk, I try explaining to the clerk the best I can what it is that I had just experienced. I'm done. I'm not walking around this place alone anymore. I know what I said, but I also know what I saw. And I know what I heard. I'm done with this place. I quit. And he just blankly stared at me and says, "It's okay." And that would probably be for the best. That's actually the fastest anyone has ever quit. They must really not like you. But who were they? I'm a custodian working nights cleaning out a high school. You'd be surprised at things found here after hours. The guy before me just up and left, so I don't doubt that he found himself something nice. I found a few stash pots myself. Little lock boxes that when broken into contain things that they probably can't take home. Sometimes even money. And they can leave it here all they want. Nothing gets turned in, if you know what I mean. Anyways, tonight's no different. After cleaning all the mess, the search begins. Honestly, it's been a while since I found anything. Maybe they finally got tired of buying stuff just for me to keep it. So today, I'm looking a little deeper. I've just finished emptying out the trash from the last classroom, and I got some spare time before I have to take my lunch. I think I'll check the football field. It's next to the parking lot, and I've parked my car as near as I can in case I find something. It's only 7 o'clock, but it's that time of year where it gets dark by 5. So yeah, it's pretty pitch black in some spots, especially where I'm about to look. We have bungalows on the back side of the field, on the opposite side of where the parking lot is. Those are those containers you see on big transport ships. We use them as storage, and the kids use them as cover while they do whatever it is they do. Maybe some of them leave their stash there. I've never checked because of how dark it gets, and I've been avoiding it lately. Sometimes I'll hear a banging coming from back there, but I don't get paid for 2 more days, and I could use some stash. To get there, I have to go through the cafeteria. The field is gated to keep the kids in school, and I have keys to open most doors. The cafeteria has big, wide windows to make it easier to look inside, and looking out, I see something completely black quickly pass by. It looked like it could have just been a shadow. It moved too quickly for me to get a good look at it. And then there's the banging. It's faint, but it must be loud if I can hear it from all the way over here. I'm still standing about 10 feet away from the door. The banging is so low and far away, but the fear is making it feel loud and in my head like it's coming from everywhere. Manning up, I walk up to the door and unlock it, pushing it open. Nothing. Only the sound of the wind and the trees. I start walking towards the bungalows, now just trying to calm myself down, and as I reach them, still, nothing. There's 3 perfectly lined up after each other, long ways, with enough space in between to get the doors open. But they're kept locked, and I don't have the keys to these. So I begin to check around them, looking to find a prankster or maybe an animal. I start to feel better after I check the 4th one and find nothing. So I get... Wait, 4? When did they bring this one? But even as I walked over here, I saw there was only 3. And then the banging starts. Real loud and right in my face. It's coming from inside. The doors to the bungalow are slowly opening, and inside, all I see is black. But the banging is clearly coming from in there. Sounds like it's at the back now. I call out to see if anybody may need my help, and the banging stops. I take a few steps into it to see if I can adjust to the dark, when the banging starts up again, faster and louder. Darkness falls all around me, and when I turn to leave, the doors are closed. The banging fades away, but I start banging on the doors myself. I banged on those doors so loud, hoping somebody would hear me. Then the doors opened, only they were behind me and looked like they were about a football field away. Someone is there, and they began to call out to me. I stopped banging and started running towards them, only to have him step inside. Then the doors began to close behind him. He looked like he wore the same uniform as me. I stopped and banged against the side as hard as I could to try to get his attention, but it was too late. Whoever that was already locked inside, banging on the doors as I did before. And again, just darkness all around. I'm suddenly hit with a cold wind, followed by the deepest feeling of fear that I've ever felt. Still not able to see anything. With the banging from the other side fading away, I hear a voice, whispering through the darkness, calling out to me, compelling me to listen. Like and subscribe. I've been doing graveyard shift for a few years now. Not on the same spot. I work seasons at fruit packing warehouses, doing sanitation work overnight. Every spot is different, but they all have only a handful of people to work during the shift. My current job is the loneliest I've ever had, which I actually enjoy very much. I get to relax, work at my own pace, and even listen to music. I only started a few weeks ago, but I've gotten along pretty good with the other few workers they have here. One of them was actually a friend of mine from years back. It was just a nice coincidence to find him here. I'm driving up to the packing house now, having to use my ID card to beat myself through. It's pretty far away from anything, to the point where you have to bring your own food for lunch, because you're not making it anywhere and back in time. Usually the crew will be at the dining room waiting to get our directions for the night, but not this time. The place looks completely lonely, just the side of their cars in the parking lot letting me know they're here. Maybe they already got to work. I'm a few minutes early, because I like to smoke before I get to it. But feeling the pressure from not knowing where they are, I grabbed the cleaning items I was gonna need and went on my way. I've been getting put to do the same thing lately. Maybe that's why they left me on my own. Walking to my work area, I notice how quiet the place is, with only the humming of the machines that are still running echoing from every direction. I would have run into somebody by now. Getting to the first room I'm supposed to clean, I open the door and the light turns on. That's odd. Usually the last shift would have just left the room, meaning the sensor for this light should still have a decent amount of time before shutting off. The room is cleaner than usual. Doesn't look like it'll need much work, so I'll be sure to take my time. I put my music onto my headphones and got to work. An hour passes when I think I hear a voice calling out to me, but I can't hear over the music. I take my headphones off while turning around, already bragging about how fast I'm getting my work done, thinking it was my boss. Nothing. There's nobody in here with me. I step outside to see if it was coming from out there, but it was silent that night. Still just the echoing hum coming from every direction. I got back to work. As soon as I put play on my music, I heard it again. Maybe it's the song, so I change it. And in the silence between songs, I hear it. Confused, I yank my headphones off, waiting to hear something else. Then the lights go off. But I'm in here. That shouldn't happen. What was that? Panicking and unable to find the door, I pull out my phone to use its light, only to have it fall out of my hand because I'm shaking like crazy. I reach down for it, but somebody else picks it up. All I see is bare feet standing in front of me. Some toenails painted, some toes missing altogether. Slowly, I begin to look up. The clothes she wore looked shredded, with a lot of threads hanging down to the floor. There's blood all over her. Suddenly, her hands grab me by the hair and she pulls me up to make me stare at her mutilated face, with my phone in her bony hand lighting everything up the entire time. She looks like she's screaming, but it's still completely silent in here. Her mouth is so wide open it looks like half her head is hanging back as she looks up. And she still hasn't looked down at me. Then her head shoots forward, looking down at me with no eyes, just black holes. I'm frozen with fear as my phone begins to dim, then black. Her grip gets tighter and the room begins to feel freezing cold. She brings me closer to her, hugging me now, squeezing so tight that I feel like I'm unable to breathe. I try screaming, but nothing comes out. I can't even move. The squeezing gets more and more intense, along with the fear and the pain and the feeling of being touched by death, draining me until I feel nothing at all.